Hey loves, welcome. We're here to share loving vibrations and to encourage oneness. We shall deeply discuss about frequency, quantum physics, loving vibrations, energy, law of attraction. We hope you will share the love and spread it too.
So it sounds to you a little bit like we are eager for you to have manifestation of the things you want. We hear you say to us, Abraham, all right, I'll accept your version of the vortex. I can't see it or hear it or smell it or taste it or touch it, but I believe you, sort of. I'll accept that it's there, but just tell me, how can I get my money out of the vortex and into the bank? How do I turn those vibrations into thoughts and those thoughts into things? And we say, this is how. You find the feeling place of what you want. If you're wanting an extra $2 or $3 or $4 or $5 or $6 or $7 or $8 or $900,000 and you want it like right away, it's not likely that it's going to land in your bank account by the end of this gathering. But by the end of this gathering, you can have accomplished a feeling of prosperity. And if you can accomplish a feeling of prosperity by looking at the abundance that is evident in your life, both the financial abundance and the lifestyle abundance and the ease abundance and the clarity abundance and the friendship abundance and the magnificent planet abundance. In other words, there is so much abundance that you could focus upon. Or you could just stop, and this is the thing that we want you to understand, what unconditional love and unconditional clarity and unconditional alignment, what they are all about, is much simpler than trying to find conditions that line up. Because for every condition that you want, there's a condition that you don't want, and then you get in this sifting and sorting with conditions, and you kind of get lost, especially in the beginning if your vibration isn't really clear. But you could close your eyes and you could focus on your breathing. Or you could count slowly, or you could listen to a ticking of a clock, or watch the flicker of a flame, or listen for the squeal in the condenser of the air conditioner. You could focus upon something that required a little bit of concentration, not a lot. And as you focus upon something that requires a little bit of concentration, you will release resistant thought and your vibration will rise. And as your vibration rises, you will be in the vibrational frequency of your inner being. You will be in what we are calling the receptive mode. And if you would do that every day, if you would just sit for 15 or 20 minutes and just quiet your mind, it might take 13 minutes to quiet your mind. The earlier in the day you sit to do it, the better, because you don't have so many things already moving through your mind. But if you would sit to do it, Esther sat this morning, and within a minute or so, she was right up there. She could feel that high-flying place. And for just a moment, she thought, this is the place of no thought. This is the place of no thought. And she just sat in that satisfying feeling of no thought that was taking her away from who she really is. The satisfying feeling. A satisfying feeling of liquid love and absolute clarity and absolute and utter well-being. That feeling of connection to who you really are. And of course, we don't want you to meditate all day. We don't want you to even meditate more than 20 minutes. If you knew how much you wanted to be in these bodies, you wouldn't be trying to get out of them all the time. You want to be in these physical bodies, and you want to be experiencing the clarity of this time-space reality. But in order to get out ahead of it vibrationally, you got to find some way to, we're going to use funny words that we don't mean, break the evil spell of the momentum of the thoughts that you've been thinking. Because it's sort of like you've got a tiger by the tail, or the tiger's got you by the tail. Sometimes you've got thoughts going and it feels like you just can't stop those thoughts, but you can. And the more you relax into your natural well-being, the more your vibration will shift, and then a wonderful thing happens. On same subjects, you have access to different thoughts around those subjects. Every subject is like a stick with two ends on it, and on one end is wanted and on the other end is absence of wanted, and there's something all in between, and you have a vibrational proclivity on every subject in the world. Everything that you think about, you're vibrating somewhere on that stick, but your inner being is all the way over, or in the example of high energy, at the top of this vibrational stick. And you're somewhere. When you meditate, you'll begin to move up on every subject to the place where the better feeling thoughts are what are moving through your mind. And then a marvelous thing happens to you. Law of attraction shows you the evidence of your movement, the evidence of your point of attraction movement. You can accomplish in a short morning like the one that we will have together today, an entirely different vibrational set point than you started the day out in. Now, for many of you, you're already high flying much of the time, but all of you, this connection to source is not like a college diploma or degree where once you get it, it's yours forevermore. You're either aligned or you're not in the moment. It's a steady, ongoing, in the now relationship between the opinion or perspective of your inner being about what you're thinking about and your perspective about what you're looking at. So if you don't like somebody, you're out of agreement with your inner being. If you don't like yourself, you're out of agreement with your inner being. If you are down on yourself, you're out of agreement with your inner being. If you're down on somebody else, you're out of agreement with your inner being. It is our wish for you that you mind your own business. And your only business is whether you are in high-flying relationship with who you really are, or whether you've pinched yourself off to some degree for some unnecessary, that's the kindest word we could think of, unnecessary, stupid reason. By stupid we mean not really thought through, not looking at it from your best perspective, not paying attention to what you're doing. But now you know too much. You will never feel negative emotion again and not know why. What do you want to talk about? It's going to be a really, 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 really good day. All right.
Okay, here's my question. Why do so many people seem to feel that they don't belong here and make the statement, I just want to go home?
Because they can feel the separation between who they are and who they're being. They don't want to go home. They want to get into alignment. They don't want to go home. They want to get into vibrational alignment with who they really are. Let's call that home. Connection. Home.
Yes.
For all the reasons we just talked about.
Exactly, and aren't we already home? Aren't we wherever our soul seems to be housed, whether it's in this world or the next?
We just explained to you that you really are two perspectives, and the inner being part of you is home and is all of that. But when you're focused upon something that's got you separated from that, it doesn't matter how many people line up and say, but you don't understand, you are home, you are home, you are home. Well-being is yours. They just want to punch your lights out. Because just because you're feeling it and you're knowing it doesn't mean that they can. You cannot see around your own vibrational offering. You just can't. That's why you got to change it. There's not enough reasoning power in the world to convince you that well-being abounds when you've just experienced something that didn't feel like that much well-being. Esther would say to us, especially in the beginning, but Abraham, but it's true. I think you need more information. It's true. This is true. And we would say, all things that you are claiming as true are just things that you or someone has put enough attention upon that you've made yourself the point of attraction for that. Why not make something that you want be true instead of something that you don't want be true? Because it's easy to focus on what you want and make it true as it is to focus on its absence and make that true. So ask that question again. Why what? The second one.
Aren't we already home? Wherever our soul is housed, whether it's in this world or the next?
Yes, so let's just call that a given. Of course, that's true. Of course, wherever your soul is vibrationally being, that is home. But that stated fact doesn't keep you in your human personality from focusing on something that takes you away from that. So knowing that does help. That's why we tell you that constantly. But so what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about bringing yourself into alignment? How are you going to know what your inner being knows?
I wanted to say this for the room as a collective whole because I thought that this was a great question, because I hear it so often. People say, I just want to go home. And I'm like, you already are home. And so I wanted your divine guidance and wisdom.
Here's something. If you say, I want to go home, and somebody says, you already are home, they want to say, well, then I want to go somewhere else. Must not be home I'm looking for if this is home.
Sure.
So you need a different answer. You need a different answer. Well, home feels like clarity. Do you ever feel clarity?
Yes.
Home feels like love. Do you ever feel love?
Absolutely.
Then we're talking to your imaginary friend. Home feels like satisfaction. Do you ever feel satisfaction? And when they say yes sometimes, then say to them, well, then sometimes you are home. Sometimes you let yourself return to the vibrational home, but sometimes you don't. And so you just need to pay attention to what you're thinking about when you do feel the satisfaction or the love of home, and what you're thinking when you don't. And then once you start making that correlation, then you could guide your thoughts. You could. The thing that makes people not believe that they can guide their thoughts is that they let their thoughts get such a head of steam, so much momentum going, that they can't. All you have to do is have something that's bothering you and talk to somebody else about it who it also is bothering, and the two of you become more powerful, so much more powerful than you were when you were by yourself thinking it, that you can't go home. You can't go home. It's like you've made a choice. I think I'll come here and be miserable with you for a while. I want to go home, but I'm here with you, and so we might as well just talk it out about how bad this is.
I just find it interesting how so many who say that they're on their last lifetime and they just feel like they don't belong here. And to me, I just wanted your collective guidance and wisdom on this, because it has baffled me for quite some time.
Here's the thing that's tricky about a teacher like yourself helping them. If somebody is proclaiming their disconnection, which is what all that is, and they've convinced you, because they're good at it, that they are disconnected and they are not home. So now as you turn your attention to them, you've got nothing for them except irritation. And the irritation that you feel is an indication that they dragged you from your home into wherever they are, and now you are almost as desperate as they are in trying to get back. So you have to have solid knowledge about what this receptive mode alignment is, so that when they're saying those things to you, you're not swayed by their lack of knowledge. You're standing in your alignment, believing that they can find alignment, and then, like their inner being, calling them maybe with examples and processes to help them get there. Because really all they need, all anyone needs, is the slightest little bit of relief. Just the slightest little bit of relief is homeward bound. Just the slightest little bit of clarity is homeward bound. So you have to just be sure that you're there. It's the difference between empathy, we talked about this yesterday, empathy, which is going wherever they are, and compassion, which is staying right there in concert with your inner being and theirs, sort of stubbornly, like your inner being is, calling them home. You see, if you're in a bad place focused upon something you don't want, if your inner being would join you there, you'd stop feeling bad right away, because there'd be no gap between you and you. Esther's tried that on us a few times. Abraham, please just come where I am, please. Give me a break, because I can't get to where you are, so won't you just come to where I am? Nope. Figure it out. Please, please, please come to where I am. I would feel so much better. Nope. Figure it out. Your inner being is stubbornly going to remain in the momentum of pure positive energy and love, and you have no option, if you want to feel good, other than to figure it out. Sleep will do that for you. When you sleep, it stops the momentum. Meditation will do it. There are so many things that you could do, but you got to understand what the process is. And once you understand, then there is never any excuse for any period of time for you to feel bad about anything. You might be trapped in behavior. Someone might have you pinned down in some way where for just a moment you cannot control your environment. But no one can control your thoughts. No one can control your perspective. No one can control your alignment. Only you, only you, only you. And once you know that, then you are truly free. Then you can be in a good feeling place no matter what. And you're right. Your words are so profound and so right. And what everybody's asking for, that really is what they want. They want to return to their clarity and to their freedom. That's the only place that freedom ever comes from. The freedom of alignment. And no one can take that from you. But sometimes it takes a little practice until you're solidly there. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Really good.